Hello, and welcome to the EVEEchoChamber. Today, we take a break from the new player guide to return to lore videos. Today's video will serve as a baseline for future lore videos. It answers the question I asked at the end of my faction lore videos: how is the world of EVE Echoes related to the world of EVE Online? This information has been in-game since launch, but making tutorial videos for new players took priority. This video will cover the event that caused the universe of EVE Echoes to split from the world of EVE Online, and attempt to clarify exactly what that means, though this is still unclear. Let's get started, but first let me show you how to access this information and other lore. Click on your shipboard computer, that you probably named Cortana, go to the Hitchhiker's Guide to New Eden. This is filled with a bunch of lore information for you to explore as you are ignoring my advice and AFK mining in lowsec. Read, learn, enjoy. The entry we want today is under our ancestry and is called EVE Echoes. It reads, in YC 116, W577P, a huge star in a constellation neighboring New Eden, went supernova, releasing a surge of power immense enough to affect multiple galaxies. Fortunately, New Eden did not lie in the path of the supernova's jets, and was spared the worst of the destruction. But the tremendous energy involved catalyzed a ripple in the fabric of the universe itself, triggering the separation of a new sub-universe from New Eden, which continues to expand and evolve. This is how the Echoes parallel universe was born. The event described here is known in EVE Online as the Seyllin event, the unofficial name of the star being Caroline's star. This name comes from the first player to notice the star when it suddenly became much more luminous. This increased luminosity could be observed all across New Eden simultaneously, which I guess physics people say is pretty impressive. The star was located in Jove space. In EVE Online, the Salen event was responsible for the appearance of wormholes, the arrival of sleepers and drifters, and eventually led to the Triglavian invasion, which is the current huge event going on in that game. Now we can add the creation of EVE Echoes to the list of consequences. Now, what does this mean for us in Echoes? Well, one of the benefits of being a content creator on the official Discord is that we have increased access to the dev team. As you might imagine, they are very busy right now, but I did get the chance to ask them 3 questions about this lore entry, and I got 2 straight answers, and I think the second answer allows us to answer the 3rd question ourselves. Question 1, a simple one. If the sub-universe of Echoes was created in YC 116, and the game released last week, what is the current year in Echoes? Straight answer, the current year in Echoes is YC 122. The same year as EVE Online. This means there has been 6 years of stuff happening in Echoes before our Capsuleers entered the stage. I believe this is where the Yanjung came in. More on them tomorrow. Question 2. The Amar faction encounters in Echoes. The agents make mention of the Empress. Is Jamil Empress, or is Katiz Empress? Straight answer, Katiz is Empress, and the devs sent me a link to the video of the succession trials from EVE Online. This casual reference to the world of EVE Online is what allows me to speculate on question 3. Question 3. For story events that were linked to gameplay mechanics that do not yet exist in Echoes, did these events happen? My example, Sancha Kuvakai returned with the introduction of incursions in EVE Online. We do not have incursions. Is he back? No answer, but we can speculate that these story events did still happen. Sancha Kuvakai is back, because the reason for Jamil not being Empress anymore is also related to gameplay mechanics that do not yet exist in Echoes. I know that for most people, lore is a minor concern, and that is definitely in evidence by the state of the game and lore in Echoes. For those of us interested in the backstory, it looks like we need to be patient and flexible. For the most part, it seems any and all lore from EVE Online is in effect here in Echoes, and is only invisible because of the early state of development. but there may be some exceptions. In my opinion, this splitting of the timeline and the birth of a sub-universe is solely to explain why Echoes does not directly interact with EVE Online in gameplay terms, and does not mean there are any differences in the story. For those of you familiar with alternate timelines and multiverses from other science fiction, you know that, theoretically, a timeline could exist where the only difference from the one you know is that today you decided to skip work to play EVE Echoes. I think that is what is going on in our game. The only difference is the presence of the Yanjung. There is one last thing I want to mention before we wrap this up. In-game, we have something called the Museum Arcana. I have no idea how this works, but it seems to be a giant scavenger hunt. I also want to point out that the Museum Arcana symbol is the same as the Yanjung symbol. I imagine this is probably how we will get Yanjung ship BPCs. There have been a few posts on Reddit and mentions in the Discord of people getting these items as random drops. None of them have dropped for me yet. If you were the first person to finish the Museum Arcana, I would love to know what happens. Let me know in the comments. Alright guys, thank you for watching. This has been the EVEEchoChamber. Fly safe.